If you go on Palantir's website, they have over 40 different industries that they are working with. Those 40 different industries is industries that Palantir is a staple in, and they're growing within that industry. One of those industries is energy supplies. Now, more than ever, energy is at a premium. Energy is so important because there is a lack thereof of energy, especially what's happening with the geopolitical situation over in Ukraine and Russia, the energy crisis that we currently have in Europe, the passing energy crisis that we kind of had in the United States, and of course, this post-COVID era. So one of the huge companies that Palantir works with is something called British Petroleum. British Petroleum, or most people just know it as BP, is a huge energy company. They're a gas company, like an oil company, right? A lot of you guys use their stations. So I'm glad to see anytime I see an article that Palantir is progressing or expanding in the field they're already working in. Yesterday, there was an article that came out for ExxonMobil, and ExxonMobil is working with Palantir. So Palantir reads data points, AI data analytics. That's what they do. So one of the ways that they can read data points is to help you to be less inefficient, therefore making you more efficient and reduce bottlenecking, for example, or coordinating with many different departments all together and try to preemptively think of what's going to happen. So most people look at Palantir and they're like, okay, well, they can do help with bottlenecking, right? Make you less inefficient with waste, so on and so forth. But most people don't also realize that Palantir does something called preemptive measures. And preemptive measures just means by reading the data points, you can catch a problem before it's a big problem. So you catch a little piece of data that is gonna tell you, oh wow, if this happens and we don't fix this right now, this little piece is gonna lead to this, and this is gonna lead to a collapse of something. Palantir famously did this with Airbus, and now they're doing it with ExxonMobil. So I'm gonna read you an excerpt right now, and this excerpt of the article is essentially Palantir is helping with preemptive measures so ExxonMobil can get their ships across the water. Okay, let me read you the article and then I'm gonna get into it. I just want to give you guys a little bit of a preface to what I'm gonna be reading. ExxonMobil shows new feature for its mobile service monitoring services. ExxonMobil is adding powerful new features to its mobile service cylinder conditioning monitoring service through partnering with Palantir technology. That's a lot of words for you just to understand. They're monitoring a lot of data points, a shit ton of data points, and they're monitoring it on top of the Palantir Foundry platform. That's all it means. So they're putting in a lot of data points from a lot of different areas to make sure that their ships are working 100% of the time, or as close to 100% of the time as possible. And if there is a problem, which there always is a problem, they can catch that problem before a small problem becomes a big problem, a huge problem, and an absolutely catastrophic, massive problem. For example, if they catch a little pin in the engine that's not working, or a little gear in the pin that's not working for the cooling system, for example, then the engine's not going to overheat and cause fire, which is going to explode the ship, God forbid, right? I'm just giving you guys a, very bad scenario, but just so you guys can picture what preemptive data analytics means, preemptive measures, what that actually means and what it could entail and why it's so huge. So Palantir is an enterprise you build on top of Palantir. So ExxonMobil has its own system to get the data. And then that data is then put into a warehouse or instantly data analyzed, right? And that's where Palantir comes in, okay? The coming enhancements combine ExxonMobil's extensive maritime knowledge and engine lubrication expertise with Palantir's best-in-class digital platform and analytics capability to deliver detailed insights into vessel operations and help protect engine components from premature wear. It's very funny that they said engine lubrication. I don't know, that sounds so porn to me, but yeah, okay, very, very good. These improvements are derived from ExxonMobil's patent technology and substantial library of onboard test results, which contains more than 750,000 data points, 750,000 data points. Palantir Technology Foundry platform will enable complete integration and advanced analysis of these records, enabling vessel operations to benchmark their engine performance against similar models in a range of operating conditions, while enabling broader organizational benefits such as trend analysis across entire fleets and similar vessels. That's very, very important. across entire fleets and similar vessels. So you take one example. It's almost like a digital twin, but an analog digital twin, if that makes sense. So you have a vessel, you figure out what's going on with this, and if you could preventively figure out what's happening in this vessel, then you could already preventively predict what's happening. Wow, that's a big word. Can you say that 3 times? Preventively predict what's going to happen in the entire fleet of ships, like another vessel. Ontology is one of the things that makes Palantir completely different than its competitors or so-called competitors. Snowflake doesn't have that C3 AI, doesn't have that Datadog shit, doesn't have that either. You know what I mean? And I quote, the collaboration with Palantir Technologies has allowed us to significantly, guys, I'm going to highlight the word significantly because every time somebody talks about Palantir, they downgrade what they actually do and don't understand the mass scale of what Palantir can do. Again, they are empire builders, they are enterprise builders, they don't solve a particular problem, they solve and reboot the entire freaking system to make you that much more efficient. And I don't think they get enough credit for that, but it's all good. We can now fully leverage the big data we have gathered in our experience to develop and deploy even more powerful data-based insights when and where they are needed, said Lorenz Gatkes, Global Marine Technology Project Manager. ExxonMobil, and I quote, vessel operators will be able to use this data for their own analysis within the platform and connect to existing vessel management platforms to help them holistically manage fleet operations and improve overall efficiency. Again, you collect data as a corporation, as a government, as a, whatever, your organization collects data. But now you need to analyze the data. So you can manually analyze the data, or you can use AI data analytics, which is what Palantir allows you to do. And if you are manually analyzing the data, it's not going to be done in real time. So Palantir analyzes your data in real time and already predictively telling you what they believe can help you, what they believe can make you better, what they believe you're looking for. So it's not only you're telling, hey, overlook these 100,000 data points and, put them in order. No, it's like, look over these 100,000 data points and already give us a suggestion of how to do, what to do, when to do. You understand what I mean? That's the difference. And I quote, our Palantir Foundry platform closes the loop between analytics and operations, empowering decision-making. Organizations around the world use our tools to help them do their most important work, said Matthew Babin, head of energy and natural resources at Palantir Technologies. And I quote, working with an organization like ExxonMobil at massive scale for an industry as critical as global maritime shipping is what we build Foundry to do. Guys, Palantir is an absolute beast. They're not doing so well. Entire market seems to be dropping. Earlier today, we had the unemployment report. I'll make a video about that later. A lot of people, when Palantir hit $10, people are like, oh, I wish Palantir is going to go under $8. Well, now you got your chance. Palantir is under $8. Palantir is an absolute bargain right now. It's near a 52-week low. Problem is a lot of people that say, hey, I wish the price goes down when the price is starting to go up. When the price goes down, you guys don't do shit. You guys don't put in the buy orders. I bought a few $1,000s of Palantir over the last week. I bought $1,000 earlier today. I think I bought another $1,000 yesterday. And I think I bought several thousand, like four grand or something, $5,000 maybe, like a couple of days ago. So altogether this week, I spent another, I don't know, $7,000, $8,000 on Palantir. I really do believe in the product. I really do believe in the company. I think we have bigger and better things ahead with the NHS. I think we have bigger and better things ahead with the Titan program. I think we have bigger and better things ahead in general. The more people that understand what Palantir does, and most people still don't understand, the more Palantir will grow. It sucks that our CEOs, CTOs, COOs, all C-level executives selling their shares. I wish, it's okay to sell because it's like predetermined sales. I wish that our team would show some cojones and actually buy into the dips, right? I'm not saying that I want Palantir to buy the dips. That's not what I'm saying. I don't want us to use our money from Palantir to buy the dips. I want our C-level executives to spend 100 grand, 200 grand. Like, it's not a lot of money for them. These guys are multi-millionaires. And buy up the dips. You know how that would help and look and the perspective for morale? That alone will probably raise the price of Palantir. Look, NHS contract was supposed to be announced on the 5th of September, but it seems like that statement was redacted from the original website. So I don't know if we are going to get the news on September 5th like we were supposed to. All I know is that Palantir does really cool shit that other people just can't do. I also know that the really cool shit that Palantir does goes unnoticed by the people that need to be noticing it. I don't know if it's a problem with marketing. I don't know if it's a problem with Alex Karp. I don't know if it's a problem with not enough YouTubers covering it. I don't know anything. All I know is that Palantir is undervalued. What Palantir does, nobody can do. And what Palantir does, people just don't seem to be paying attention to. One day, and I don't know what day that is, tomorrow, in a year from now, 5 years from now, this is all going to change. As long as Palantir can do what they can do, and nobody can do what they can do, then Palantir is good. They have a motor out there. Since Palantir is designing its system, since Palantir is forward-moving and forward-seeing, Palantir is creating what they think corporations, governments, organizations are going to need, not now, but in 5 years from now, so that whatever they're creating right now is relevant for 5 years from now. They keep saying that whatever these other analytics companies or software companies are doing barely works for today, let alone what's going to happen in 5 years from now. If this thesis is correct, Palantir is an absolute bargain, practically free at these prices. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm purely an entertainer and educator at best. All I know is that I truly do believe in Palantir. I am buying Palantir. I have a lot of Palantir, and my thesis did not change. As long as we get an NHS contract, as long as we get the Titan contract, I do believe that the company is in fact going to grow. And I do think that there's a lot of contracts that are not taken into account due to this geopolitical uncertainty in Ukraine that are going to start coming out in the third and fourth quarter of 2023. Guys, thank you so much. Don't forget to give me the likes, the shares, and the subscribe. The Berg is out.